The Ring is a 2002 American film and a remake of the 1998 Japanese film Ringu, directed by Hideo Nakata. The Ring is one of those films that came out at a time when, at least here in the US, we were probably at our lowest point as far as our horror films were concerned. Maybe that's controversial, and sure, there were some definite gems like Session 9, American Psycho, Jeepers Creepers, and Ginger Snaps. But those films had to flounder in a sea of complete mediocrity surrounded by absolute turds like Darkness Falls, Urban Legend, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. I could name 1,000 more. This film was directed by Gore Verbinski, who would find even more success with the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. He started out directing music videos, and so he brings a lot of style to The Ring. It was filmed in the Seattle area, which is something important that I need to mention, which is absolutely perfect for this story. Perfect setting for this film. I mean, it's raining throughout, I think, probably the entire runtime, if not 95% of it. It's gray, constantly outside, and anytime someone is doing something outside, they're running from the constant downpour. I mean, the rain in this movie is almost like a character of its own. And on top of that, Verbinski used a type of like bluish filter, giving the film a look that is just perfect for the overall tone. The cast, also very good, with Naomi Watts as the lead, and we also get really good performances from David Dorfman, who is really good for a child actor. I gotta give him credit. The always great Brian Cox, I'm a big fan, and the underrated Martin Henderson. The plot involves a mysterious videotape of unknown origin, and if you view it, you receive a phone call telling you that you have 1 week to live. And I'll be honest with you, even back in 2002, I didn't like the premise at all. I saw it in the theater, though, and just loved it instantly. So on paper, I was unsure about this one, but, after seeing it, it totally works. So as the story goes, the tape is viewed by a teenage girl who got her hands on it, and a week later, she died. Her mom then asks her sister Rachel, played by Naomi Watts, to look at it, since she is a journalist, and maybe, just maybe, she can figure something out since the police just don't know what to do. So having only a videotape with no leads, Rachel goes to her ex-husband Noah, and also the father of her son Aiden, to help since he is a video analyst. I mean, it's 2002 in the US. Of course the kid's name is Aiden. So it's kind of a slow burn and at times very atmospheric film, or at least to an extent, considering it was released to a very mainstream audience. Many who had never even heard of Ringu. It's very obviously supernatural horror, right? But I also get hints of like mystery thriller, as well, due to the main character being a journalist and investigating and all that. It's a cool combination of different things. And I know people that don't really care for The Ring, and on its surface it does look like it's going to be your typical, again, early 2000s American horror, but it's so much more than that. When it's going for atmosphere, in my opinion, that's when it's at its very best. The creepy visual effects hold up really well to this day, and the videotape footage is super creepy and ominous, kind of like a super artsy student film. I actually really like it, and I wish an entire film could be made out of it. I think that would be so cool. I'd watch it, obviously. Just think Begotten from 1990, and you aren't too far off. There was also, and this is weird to me, but there was also a direct sequel in 2005. Oddly enough, directed by Hideo Nakata of Ringu. But it's completely underwhelming, and I absolutely don't recommend it. And now for the original film. As much as I love The Ring, and I do, Ringu is an all-time Japanese horror classic. Surprisingly, it is actually very similar as far as, the characters and storyline go. But I would say that it's a darker, grittier, and scarier film. I mean, it's Japanese horror. I shouldn't really need to say much else. It also had a budget of $1.5 million compared to The Ring's $48 million. Hideo Nakata is just a great filmmaker, one of Japan's finest. He didn't need a $48 million budget. I do highly, highly recommend both of these films, but, you know, I'm going to give the edge to Ringu, of course, which I haven't put on in quite some time, actually, and now I'm really, really in the mood to watch it. I think it's absolutely overdue for a rewatch. Well, guys, that's it for this one. So tune in tomorrow for video 4 of my 13 Days of Halloween series. Hopefully I'll see you then, huh? Cheers, guys. Stay spooky.